U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has arrived in Tel Aviv as Israel's military says its ground forces have encircled Gaza City. And a New York City jury found Sam Bankman-Fried guilty in FTX's collapse. Good morning. I'm Windsor Johnston with NPR News, and here are today's top stories. Secretary of State Antony Blinken is in Tel Aviv today as Israel intensifies its military operation in Gaza. The Biden administration has been pushing the Israeli government to allow for temporary pauses in fighting to provide civilians safe passage out of the besieged enclave and to deliver humanitarian aid to the region. Maha Albana, an aid worker from New Jersey, was able to leave Gaza, but she still worries about her family there.
Can't even allow myself to feel relieved because I have family still in Gaza, so I'm kind of worried. But I am happy that I'm out.
Security has been stepped up amid Friday prayers in Jerusalem, which often creates tensions between Palestinian civilians and Israeli police. A New York City jury has found the former crypto mogul Sam Bankman-Fried guilty of securities fraud, money laundering, and 5 other criminal counts. NPR's David Gura reports Bankman-Fried masterminded a conspiracy to steal billions from customers of FTX, the cryptocurrency exchange he started.
It took just 5 hours for the jury to reach its verdict after a month-long trial that included testimony from his co-conspirators. These were Sam Bankman-Fried's former deputies, who were also some of his closest friends. They cooperated with the U.S. government, and they told the court Bankman-Fried directed them to funnel billions of dollars from FTX to a trading firm Bankman-Fried also controlled called Alameda Research. Once it was there, he used that money to make risky investments and to buy luxury real estate for himself, his family, and his friends. Bankman-Fried could spend the rest of his life in prison. He's scheduled to be sentenced in March. David Gura, NPR News, New York.
The federal trial of former Louisville police detective Brett Hankison is underway. Roberto Roldan with Louisville Public Media reports Hankison is accused of violating the civil rights of Breonna Taylor, her boyfriend, and her neighbors during a deadly raid in 2020.
After settling on a 16-person jury pool, prosecutors laid out their arguments. They said Hankison fired blindly through Taylor's covered window and patio door. Some of his bullets passed through a shared wall and into an occupied neighboring unit. Jurors heard from one of her neighbors who woke up to bullets flying through her apartment. She was pregnant at the time and rushed to lay on top of her young son until the shooting stopped. Prosecutors plan to show that Hankison fired out of anger without identifying a clear target. Hankison's attorneys say he was shooting at a specific target and he was trying to protect his fellow officers after Taylor's boyfriend opened fire. Breonna Taylor was killed. For NPR News, I'm Roberto Roldan in Louisville.
A floating jail in New York City's South Bronx neighborhood is closing its doors for now. Harrison Malkin reports the Vernon C. Bain Correctional Center transferred its remaining inmates to Rikers Island last month.
The Vernon C. Bain Correctional Center in the South Bronx is a floating jail. It's 5 stories and looks like a container ship. The facility, brought to New York in 1992, was meant to be a temporary fix for overcrowding at Rikers Island, the city's main jail for detainees awaiting trial. But the city's Department of Correction says the Vernon C. Bain Correctional Center has closed its doors, with its last inmate being transferred to Rikers in mid-October. It was the last remaining so-called floating jail in New York City, but officials say maintenance, cleaning, repairs will continue. For NPR News, I'm Harrison Malkin in New York City.
This is NPR News in Washington.